I'm going to tell you the story. The first thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. You can go on the Oracle. He's the one who's talking to you. Welcome to the call. Oh, side note, I didn't make any videos yesterday, but Zobda John Medina to my kid I have not seen in several years. He is not my biological kid. Just as a note. I just, I raised him for a couple of years. I haven't talked to him in a while, but yesterday was his birthday, so Zobda John Medina kid. When it's this time in 2030 and you're actually 18, maybe you can start watching these. Anyway. Continuing with the LearnSanskrit.org textbook available at LearnSanskrit.org. Jumping around as I do, I'm going to go to Nominals 1, Normal Stems. That is on page 142. The nominal system. Nominals are naming words, along with verbs, and naming is very important. Naming is very important, especially in Divya's octave, especially with like magical power. Naming is very important. Nominal system. Nominals are naming words, along with verbs and inflected words. They are and uninflected words. They are one of the three main types of Sanskrit word. We use the word nominal so that we can refer to many different types of words at once. These types also include nouns, adjective, pronouns, and numerals. In this lesson, we'll learn about basic parts of a nominal word. We'll also learn what kinds of meanings the different nominal endings can express. Every nominal word has two parts, a stem and an ending. Oh, stems and ending. Every nominal word has two parts, a stem and an ending. In the example below, we combine the stem with its ending to create a complete word. Simha plus h. Simha, the lion. Simha plus sya. Simhasya, of the lion. Simha, I. Simhai, by the lions. The stem contains the nominal's basic meaning, and the ending expresses three basic kinds of information: gender, number, and case, the three genders. In the core lesson, we learned that Sanskrit nominals use three different genders. They are the masculine gender, simho, gachati, the male lion goes; the feminine gender, simha, gachati, the female lion goes; and the neuter gender, vanan, asti, there is a forest. Many nominal systems can freely use any of these three genders, but the noun systems generally use a fixed gender. But noun stems usually use a fixed gender. Noun stems use a fixed gender even if they don't refer to living beings. Yoga, masculine. Niti, wise conduct, feminine. Nirvana, neuter. Nirvana. How do we determine which gender a noun should use? We can usually determine a noun's gender by noticing the sounds at the end of the stem. Here are some basic rules that might be helpful. Nouns that end with a are never feminine. Nouns ending with in a, e, and u, as in the long ones, are almost always feminine. So short a, never feminine. Long a, long e, long u, almost always feminine. Nouns that end with tra and ana fixes are usually neuter. So mantra would probably be neuter. All right, the three numbers. In the core lesson, we saw that Sanskrit nominals use three different numbers, vakana. These are singular, which is used for one item. Simha pasyati, the lion sees. The dual, which is used for exactly two items. Simhao pasyati, pasyata. Simhao pasyata, the two lions see. And the plural, which is used for three or more items. Simha pasyanti, the many lions see. So it's basically in that case, the many, like, when it's lions that's basically inferred to be more than two. Verbs also use all three of these numbers. In a Sanskrit sentence, the verb and the case one noun should have the same number. All right. The 8 cases. Case, roughly speaking, is the name for the way that Sanskrit nominal expresses different roles in a sentence. Sanskrit uses 8 different cases. Case 1 can be thought of as the default case. Usually refers to the subject of the action. Simha kadati, the lion eats. But this depends on the prayoga of the verb. For example, consider the 2 sentences below. Both use simha in case 1, but the meaning of simha in each sentence is very different. Simha kadati, the lion eats. Kartari prayoga, the lion is the subject, karta, of the subject. Simha kadyate, the lion is eaten. Karmani prayoga, the lion is the object, karma, of the sentence. Case 2 is generally the object of the sentence. It is also used for destinations. Simho gramam pasyati, the lion sees a village. In which case, gramam is the object. Simho gramam gachati, the lion goes to the village. Case 3 generally means with or by means of. Simho margane gramam gachati, the lion goes to the village by means of the road. This was a classic example that's actually used earlier. Case 4 generally means for or for the sake of. Simho mansayat gramam gachati, the lion goes to the village for meat. Yeah, that's like that. Simha kadanaya gramam gachati, the lion goes to the village for eating, to eat. Case 5 generally means from, then, or because of. Nara vanad gramam gachati, a man goes from the forest to the village. Simho narad balavatara, the lion is stronger than the man. Nara vayad garham gachati, the man goes home from, parentheses, because of, in parentheses, fear. Case 6 generally means of. Or like, this is of me, this is of mine. So, simho narasya garham gachati, the lion goes to the house of the man, or the man's house. Simho narasya mamsam karati, the lion eats the meat of the man. Guy went into the forest to fight the lion. Lion followed him back. Oh wow. Narasimhe sti, the man is in the lion. Oh, case 7 generally means in or on. Naro simhe sti, the man is in the lion, specifically in his udana, in his stomach. Simho grame karati, the lion walks in the village. I shouldn't be laughing so hard about this dude being eaten, but it's so hilarious that this is an actual example in the textbook. And case 8 is the person being spoken to. Hisimha vanam gacha. Hey lion, go to the forest. That's so funny. So funny. Here is what these other cases are called in other resources. Case 1, prathama, first case, nominative case in English. Case 2, dvitiya, second or accusative case in English. Case 3, tertiya, third case, instrumental case in English. It's basically Sanskrit in the English names of all these various cases. Katarathi, or fourth case, the dative case. Pankami, the fifth case, or the ablative case. Sasti, the sixth case, or the genitive case. Satami, the seventh case, or the locative case. And case 8 doesn't have a name. It's not the asama case. It's the vocative case in English, but it has no special name in Sanskrit. Why doesn't case 8 have a special name? It's a very deep question. For it, see our Vyakarana. For it to see the Vyakarana Pravesa series on LearnSanskrit.org. because I'm not actually sure that's in this book. Stem families. Nominal stems can end with many different kinds of sounds. Simha, male lion. Agni, fire. Manas, mind. We can group these stems based on the last sound they use. So we'll talk about stems ending in a, e, u, and so on. We use these groupings because stems with different final sounds tend to use different endings. For example, compare the endings we use for simha, which ends in a short a, to the endings we use for simha, which ends in a long a. So the male line versus the female line. Simha, simhena, male line by the male line. Simha, simhaya, line by the female line. That is quite a difference. Huh. Simha, simhasya, male line of the male line. Simha, simhaya, female line of the female line. Roughly, we can combine all these stems into 5 big stem families. All the stems in the stem family tend to use similar endings. These stem families are the A stems, the A, I, U stems, the I, U stems, the A stems, and all the other stems. Stem families have some small differences, but they generally share most of their endings and follow consonant patterns. All right. And that is the beginning of that. How long have I been running? 11 minutes. All right. Let's take a quick look. All right. This looks a little long. You know what? I'll do this. I think I can finish this one. All right. Let us continue with basic nominal endings on 151. In the previous lesson, we learned that we can sort different nominal stems in different families based on their last sound. Different stem families might use different endings. For example, compare the endings used with Agni, fire, with Manas, mind below. Agni, Agnina, with the fire. Manas, Manasa, with the mind. Here we can see that Agni uses the ending na and Manas uses the ending a. But even though both of these endings are different, they both end with the long a sound. All stem families tend to use a set of basic endings. So different stem families will modify these basic endings in different ways. But if we know these basic endings, we can more easily understand the system as a whole. In this lesson, we will learn about basic endings that Sanskrit nominals tend to use. Basic masculine and feminine endings. Here are the basic nominal endings we use for the masculine and feminine genders. These endings are the same for both genders. Oh, here are the basic nominal endings we use for masculine and feminine endings. Here the endings are the same for both genders. Okay. Case 1. Dual, singular, dual, al, plural, ah. Case 2. Singular, dual, al, plural, ah. Case 3. Singular, dual, biam, plural, bich. Case 4. Singular, dual, biam, plural, biach. Case 5. Singular, dual, biam, plural, biach. Case 6. Singular, plural, dual, dual, plural, Case 7. Singular, dual, plural, su. Case 8. Singular, dual, plural, The table above has 8 rows and 3 columns. Each row corresponds to a different case, and each column corresponds to a different number. For example, we can use this table to learn that case 7 singular ending is I. Why do we put these endings in the table? So we can sit down and memorize them? No, in our view, that is a waste of time. We use the table because they sometimes help us see certain patterns clearly, especially notice that many of these endings are the same. For example, the ending byam has 3 different meanings. Naro, gata byam, nagaram gatati. The man goes to the city by means of the 2 elephants. Naro, Gachabhyam nagaram gachati. The man goes to the city for the 2 elephants. Naro gachabhyam nagaram gachati. The man goes from the 2 elephants to the city. How do we decide what beyond means here? We decide what beyond means here only if we know the sentence's context. If we don't have that context, we must guess. That sounds like it sucks. Basic neuter endings. The basic neuter endings follow an interesting pattern. In cases 3 to 7, they are identical to the endings we saw above. In cases 1, 2, and 8, they are as you see below. Case 1, and this is only in the dual and plural. Case 1, I. E, E. Case 2, E. It's the same. E. This is the usual pattern for neuter endings. Two examples. So two examples how to use these endings. We'll study the feminine stem now, which means boat, and the neuter stem manas, which means mind. When we add endings to the stem now, a few small sandy changes apply if the ending starts with vowel. Otherwise, now is normal and predictable. Now, naval, nava, navan, naval, nava, 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 rather, navyam, nabi, nave, nabyam, nabya, nava, nabyam, nabya, nava, navo, navam, navi, navo, nasu, nah, nava, nava. Notice that nasu becomes nasu due to sandy. S usually becomes s when it follows a vowel other than a or u, which means it has extra syllables to it. Meanwhile, manas is a neuter stem that uses neuter endings. As before, a few small sandy changes apply, but otherwise manas follows a regular pattern. Mana, manasi, mana, manasi, manami, manamsi, manach, manasi, manamsi, manasa, manabyam, manabich, manase, manabyam, manabyam, manabyah, manasa, manabyam, manabyah, manasa, manos, manaso, manasam, manasi, manaso, manasu, manah, manasi, manas, manamsi. The S in S becomes the visarga if it's at the end of the word, or if the S in manas becomes the visarga if it is at the end of the word, or if the ending starts with a consonant, manah, with its visarga, then follows the normal rules of visarga sandhi. Manas, manah, manas plus byam, manobyam. Notice that the word manamsi has a small stem change. The stem's last vowel becomes longer, and we insert anasvara as well. Manah, manamsi, minds. Neuter stems often change in this way. We'll see many examples of change in the following lesson. And I will stop it from there because that's heading on 20 minutes. This is cool, gonna sing myself out with nominal 1. Starting that way out, dream safely out there in the weave. From Oracle, they'll later talk ye. Bum, bum, so dream safely ye. I'll have to get a beverage 'cause I'm partial, should we?